Joining us now to discuss is Ohio Attorney General David Yost. AG, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. So CBP saying the drug seizures dropped by 1% during the same time frame, but if you compare that to the rise, it's not really an offset there, sir.
Well, I can tell you in Ohio, we're seeing more opioid overdose deaths than we ever have, and our drug seizures are up. Now, it's tending toward fentanyl and methamphetamine at this point, but we're being flooded, and it's just common sense to realize that the open border on our southern flank is contributing to it.
Republican gubernatorial candidate Jim Renacci blasted your governor DeWine's handling of the opioid crisis that you're talking about, saying in part, quote, "As long as our southern border remains wide open to crime, human trafficking, and drugs, Ohio will always be fighting the drug crisis with one hand tied behind its back. We need Republican governors to step up and use the executive branch to tackle illegal immigration head on, which DeWine is unwilling to do," end quote. I'm familiar with this area. I used to work for one of the NBC affiliates there in Southwest Ohio, and I know how that 75 corridor works and how important that is and how things can get across your state. Talk to me about that.
Well, Ohio sits at the crossroads of America. Not only 75 going north and south, as well as 77 and 71, all going through Ohio. We also have Interstate 70 and 80 and 90 going east and west. So we see a huge amount of traffic, and it's not just legitimate traffic. The drug dealers know how to use a map and how to move cargo just as well as any other business does. But look, with regards to the primary that's going on here, Mike and Jim, both friends of mine, they're going to, make their cases. But let's not forget what really is going on here. It's the federal government that has responsibility for border security, and Arizona, Governor Jan Brewer, tried to step up when the Obama administration was not doing their job on the border. The federal government took Arizona to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, hey, this is a federal function. You're not allowed to get into it, state. Well, okay, if that's the law of the land, then it's the law of the land. The responsibility for this rests squarely at the doorstep of the White House.
Yeah. Let me ask you this really quickly here, Dave. Does it bother you that so much focus is on a border that is not ours right now when we have a crisis at our southern border on a federal level?
Well, what bothers me is the Homeland Security Secretary out there bragging that for the first time it's federal policy to not arrest people who are found to be here illegally. I just don't know how that we came to this turn of events. You can treat immigrants with dignity. You can support the rule of law and still have a strong border. Look, if you don't lock your door, don't be surprised to come home and find your stuff is gone. And if we can't secure the border, you shouldn't be surprised when we're getting flooded with illegal drugs.
Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost joining us live here on the program on this President's Day. Thank you for carving out a little time for us. I do appreciate it, AJ.
Thank you.
All right.